Oh, guys, it's been a week. It has been a week. I don't know if it was the full moon, there was a little bit of PMS going on, but wow, was I in the pits this week. And it took me by surprise, to be fair, because I've been pretty good since November, December. I would say my mood has been, really level and nice. But this week took me out. I don't know. I feel like I'm at the age where I'm past going out every night and partying and, gallivanting around the city. But I'm fully settled down with kids, with a family. I'm in like a really tricky in-between phase where I can't do 2 nights in a row, nor do I ever want to. I don't want to be going out everywhere all the time, but I'm also just like not quite ready to not do anything. And then I think because I'm in London and I'm far away from all my friends and my family, at the times where I'm like, I don't fancy going out or doing anything, then I'm by myself quite a lot. And this week I was just like, if I'm by myself here, like, what's the point? What's the point of me being in London if I'm by myself? I could be by myself anywhere. I could be anywhere. And I think when you've got no responsibilities and you do have that like sense of freedom, really, where you could literally do anything with your life, it can also sometimes seem a bit overwhelming. I feel like basically I've always had a purpose for being in London, where I am. Like, this is where my life has been. But obviously with the last year, I think my whole life has changed. Obviously, I broke up with my boyfriend. I moved out. I live by myself. I changed jobs, so I work from home a lot. Like, one of my best friends moved to America. The other best friends moved just like a little bit out of London. So I do still see her, but like not as much. And obviously I do still see my friends and stuff, but it's just like a lot more effort, I think, as you get older and people have their lives and obviously people are just like burnt out. So if I'm like busy in the week, I don't want to always just be going out onto the tube. Anyway, I've just had a bit of an existential crisis, and I don't know if you guys feel like this, if you're in the same situation as me, but it can really get you in your head and in your feels. On Tuesday, I fully planned out to move to Australia. I literally woke up, I was like, I just don't. And that's why I think it might be PMS or the moon. Because I woke up and I just thought, I just don't feel right in my body. And then it's almost like your brain is like, okay, well, why don't you feel okay? You just haven't got the zest for life. And yeah, I fully planned out to move to Australia. I was like, why not? Why am I sat in grey London when I could just be sat by myself in somewhere sunny? Obviously, winter doesn't help. But yeah, that's what's been going on with me this week. I am coming out of it a little bit now. My therapist told me that it's really important to stay in the present and not think about what you haven't got, what you could be doing. Just stay in the present, focus on what you got. And she also said that the what ifs with things, like when I'm starting to think about other options, I'm like, oh, but what if this, what if that? She said that's just anxiety and it's trying to protect you. But if you live your life like that, you become really risk averse and then your world becomes a lot smaller. So yeah, we basically got to try and get out of the anxiety, stay in the present, be appreciative, and yeah, if you feel like you want to do something, just do it, I suppose. I did, I do a calm app every morning. I sound mental, by the way. Like, if this was somebody's first time tuning into an episode, welcome. This is the crash course into my mind. But yeah, I do the calm app every morning, the meditation. And there was a quote on there saying, like, the present. If you can't live there, you can't live anywhere. And I thought that is probably true. Would I still be having the same thoughts if I was in Australia by myself? Probably. But I'd also be on the beach, So, pros and cons. Anyway, guys, welcome. I hope you're all doing well. Please come and let me know if you're feeling the same. Is this something that just happens when you're in your 30s? Because I know my friends feel it and they're in a different situation to me. They live in with their partners or they've got like some friends around and they still feel the same. And I do think it's got to be like an age thing, like I said, where you're just in a little tricky spot. But anyway, come and let me know what you guys have been up to. I saw a really good thing online this week where basically people were sharing the drama going on in their life at the minute. And it's nice to feel like we're not alone, So, yeah, I thought we could read some out. By the way, the girl that does this, she's called Kat Wellington. And I only follow her on TikTok, but I think the questions come from Instagram. But she basically posts every week asking, what drama is going on in your life right now? My boyfriend keeps dropping hints that he's attracted to my sister. No. That would turn me sick, actually. It's like if somebody says they fancy your sister, your friend, wherever, you can find them attractive. Like, that's normal, that's natural. But keep that shit to yourself. Do you know what that's going to result in? A de-invitation to Christmas. Because you're not being around us at Christmas time if you're thinking about my sister. There's just no way. My friend is dating a man named Spike, enough said. I've been in love with one of my best friend's boyfriends for 2 years. Help. Just fall out of love with him, please, for the love of God, just go and meet somebody else. There is no help for that. Like bloody Love Actually, where his friend's in love with Keira Knightley. Do you need to go caroling and tell her on the door? You don't. Just move on with your life, keep it to yourself, go to therapy and find somebody else, because it just ain't happening. Stick to your moral ground. I can't honestly ever imagine being in that situation, because I just think when my friend is with somebody, I don't know, it just instantly puts them in a, not even like, oh, I can't like them. It just puts them in a, I don't like them. Not I've even got the same taste in guys as my friends, so that probably helps. But like, I don't know, like when I meet my friends' boyfriends, I just feel like they're an extension of my friends, you know? Okay, what drama is going on in your life right now? I went no contact 2 years ago with my ex-situationship, and he called me 2 days ago crying and apologising. I actually love that for you. What more could you want? What took him the 2 years, though, is what I need to know. I do see stuff like that online all the time, like if a guy comes back, it's only because he didn't find anything better. I actually don't think that's true. I think sometimes we do leave situations and, we might not even be sure at the time, or it might be the right thing at the time. And then regardless of what happens, you might have always had it in, niggling away that you don't know if that was the right decision to leave. And then for whatever reason, 2 years later, you just feel confident enough to say. That's what I choose to believe. Although I will say, if you'd met somebody else in that time that you felt crazy about, would you still reach out to your ex? I don't know. I guess that's the test of love. What's the old MSN quote that we used to have? If you love them, let them go. If it's true love, they'll come back. Or something like that. Me at 30 and updating my MSN thing. Okay. Just found out the boy I'm talking to writes fat-phobic comments on Insta. Oh, that would be one of the worst things if I could find out. I was dating somebody and I found out they were a troll. Especially now, given that I have experience with trolls and they are all men. Disgusting. I remember having a really bad one. I really can't remember what he said, which is annoying. It was like a few years ago, but I remember feeling so enraged, and his picture was him with like his wife or whatever, and I wanted to send his wife and be like, do you know that your husband or your partner, whatever, is speaking like this about women? Because if you're speaking like that about a random woman online, you haven't got respect for them. It's a massive, massive red flag. I think that's a sackable offence instantly. Also, it's just like cringe and icky. Like you're commenting hate on somebody's video. Grow up. I got eloped less than 2 months ago and I already regret it. Oh, that's sad. That is deeply sad and unfortunate. Having a weird crush on my 38-year-old married dad co-worker. I'm 28, engaged to a woman. Okay, so I don't know, I've got a feeling that this is coming from a woman and she's engaged to another woman and she fancies her 38-year-old married dad co-worker, i.e. a man. She fancies her co-worker who's a man and married and a father. I'm not going to lie, that sounds like therapy. I don't actually think you're attracted to him. I think there's something deeper going on there. Maybe you're not as into the puss as you thought. Maybe there's a bit of that. Maybe because he's married and he's a dad, there's a little, draw to that. Maybe you want somebody older, a protector. There's deeper issues there. But stay away from the married dad, please. I slept with my roommate. Oh, no. I slept with my roommate while her boyfriend was in the other room. Oh, that's outrageous. That is absolutely diabolical. No. I just can't. Imagine you're the boyfriend. You're going about your day. You've been together all weekend. She's still in bed. And you're like, oh, babe, I'm just going to get up if you don't mind. Can I just go make breakfast? I'm really hungry. Yeah, fine. So you go up, you have breakfast. She goes in her roommate's friend. I used to do that all the time. When I lived with my friends, I used to have like my boyfriend over. I'd go up to her bedroom, catch up, chill out, whilst he was showering and stuff. I wasn't banging him. So he's sat there. He's having his shreddies, catching up on the news on his phone. And his girlfriend is, getting down and dirty with his roommate or her roommate. Somebody else that you considered a friend and probably a confidant in the walls of the flat share. Outrageous. It blows my mind how hurtful people can be. Like, haven't you just got any shred of discipline? Like, pull yourself together. At least wait for your boyfriend to go. Or, better still, break up with him and then sleep with your roommate all you want. Obviously, it must be a bit of a turn on. People are really into that, aren't they? People are also really into, like, wanting to get caught. Like, sex in public places. It's not really for me. People love it though. I watched an episode of Sex and the City, which obviously means this gospel truth. And there was a guy there who was really, really into it. And she thought at first that he was just like super horny and it was like kind of cute. Like, oh, you can't keep your hands off me. But then like actually transpired into he wanted to get caught. Like that was his turn on. And actually, I don't know if this is related or not, but it just came into my head. I was talking the other day about Anthony Wall Thompson, the chef, or, throwback. You probably haven't heard about him for a while. He was on Ready, Steady, Cook, wasn't he? He was the chef of my generation. Him and Ainsley Harriott, were Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver. Like, they were the big dogs back in the day. And then Anthony Worrell got done for stealing. And he said that he loved the thrill of it. And he loved the fear of getting caught was like his what do they call it? Was his thing. I can't think of the word. There's a word in there when you get turned on by something. Guys, if you can think of this word, Melanie always helps me with these things when I can't think of a word. If you can think of this word, please comment because it'll bug me. That's it's like when you've got your turn on, there's a word for it. It's not crutch, obviously, but it's like a one word. That's your... Please comment if you can think what word I'm thinking of. Thank you. Okay. What drama is going on in your life right now? My situationship hooked up with my boss after an event I brought him to. That makes me sick on both parts because how are you ever going to face your boss again? Also, as your boss, the respect would instantly go down. That boss could not tell me to do a single thing. To be fair, it might have its advantages. If you didn't care about your boyfriend that much, it could be an advantage staying in the job because she'd be like, my boss would be like, oh, will you do that? And I'd be like, no. Like, there's no one thing that they could ask me to do. I'd be kept rocking in late with my drink and I'd be like, you banged my boyfriend. So what are we doing here? I will put it in a work email to everybody if you fire me. It could have its advantages, Now I've actually turned that around in my head. But the boyfriend, absolutely disgusting. Again, have you just got no self-respect and just no discipline? Yeah, you're a dog on heat, like. Yeah, I'm sure it is nice in your head to go, what a hot idea. I'm sure there's porno about it. You go to this event with your wife and then, you see the boss or you see a PA or wherever. And, suddenly you're in office way and you're having sex with a photocopier. I'm sure it's in some people's heads, but, like, it's not real life. Calm yourself. Jesus Christ. My boyfriend says he can't have dinner with me on Valentine's Day because he's playing poker with the boys. No, I'm not okay with this. And do you know what? I really try every year. This happened last year as well. I really try every year pre-Valentine's Day to be considerate, respectful, thoughtful of the men out there. Because I know that there's no women letting their partners down on Valentine's Day. I just know that. Only men, straight men. And pre-Valentine's Day, I always try to be like, help them out. Tell them that, it's Valentine's Day, etc., etc. Post-Valentine's Day, when I start to see, videos, or I start to get messages about how they haven't pulled through, they can't see you, they haven't bought me anything, I'm just like, it's one day a year where you can redeem yourself and show your partner that you care. And it's just not on. It's such a simple thing to do. Like the story we had last week where she's 31, she's in a marriage and she's never had a card off her husband. Like, hopefully, yeah, she's told him, but also, who doesn't want to do something for Valentine's Day? Like, sort yourself out. Obviously, there's things, work, other commitments. I get it. It's just a day, celebrating a different day, fine. But going to play poker with the boys on Valentine's Day, oh, I'd be seething. I'd actually be so annoyed. Because it's just one day. It's one day a year. Along with your birthday and Christmas and New Year and Easter. No, but come on. Shape yourself up for Valentine's. I hope you all had a good Valentine's weekend, by the way, guys. I didn't have any heartbreaking stories sent to me last year. So I think that's a good sign. Okay. I'm heartbroken over a man that is not my husband. I have no words for that. There's lots of TikTok videos about that. And she's crying in bed and she's like, and it's like, when you've just broken up from your boyfriend, but and then your husband calls you, and it's like her crying in the bed, and then her having to get up to go to her husband. This girl I work with keeps leaving in the middle of the day, 2 to 4 hours early, just gone. I love her. I absolutely love her. Do you know when I started my last job, on the contract, right? I don't know if I've told you a story. On the contract, it was 9 till 5, the hours. So for the first at least week, 5 o'clock came, I was like, okay, I'm going now, but everybody else was staying, and I was like, I look bad already because I'm leaving early, but I've only just started, so my workload's not crazy, and I'm just not gonna stay late. It's just, I hated being there anyway. You're not gonna get me for an extra half hour if I don't need to be. This went on for the first week or so, and then I think I asked somebody, Frankie, who was my friend next to me, I was like, what time do you finish then? Because she was a PA. And I was like, what time do you finish? At 5:30. We all finish at 5:30. I was like, my contract said 5. And she was like, no, the hours are 9 till 5:30. I was like, so I've been leaving half an hour early every day for the last 2 weeks. And that wasn't allowed. And she's just laughing. She's like, I did wonder why you were going, but, you've only just joined, so, obviously she wasn't going to say anything. I was like, wow, okay. There was also a girl there, she got sacked in the end. She literally just used to leave and go and get her hair done and stuff. She was wild. And used to be, funny. I just used to find it funny, you've got such balls, openly saying, yeah, I'm just going to go and get my hair done. And leave for 2 hours. I mean, she did lose her job, but I kind of love her. I'm not going to lie, because that's not me. I am the person, as much as I joke about it, I am the person that I've got to leave at 5 stat for my appointment. And if my boss is calling me in at 5 to 5 and telling me I need to do something and it's going to take an hour, I'm there, I'm missing my appointment, I'm paying the late fee, and I'm not even telling my boss. I'm just saying, sure, no problem, no worries. All the worries going on in my head. I am that person. So when I see people that don't give a damn, there was a girl I worked with in Monsoon years ago, and one of the jobs was doing the rubbish, which obviously was horrible. But I actually didn't mind it because it meant that I was away from the shop floor and used to take half hour. So you just it wasn't actually dealing with the rubbish. It was just there was a big bin, and you had to just wheel it around, but it was at the back of the store, and for me, it just used to give me a break. I've just come to realise I just don't being in a work environment. I just have big issues with it anyway, so I didn't mind it. But she categorically used to say, I'm not doing that. And we'd all have to do it, but she'd just be like, well, I'm not doing it. And I was like, wow, nobody said anything to her, nobody questioned her. that was that. She never did it. And I would just love some of the balls and the gumption, to be fair. Oh, that was the last one, guys. Sorry, I didn't know that was the last one. Absolutely loved that. So please, come and let us know what drama, what situation you've got going on in your life. Hopefully Kat won't mind me kind of piggying on the back of that. But how fun, yeah. Come and let me know. Please send me a DM. I'm at Sadie Maltby or at lovewhatluck, or you can email me, sadie@lovewhatluck.com. And yeah, as always, if you've got any stories as well, then come and share them with us. I actually saw a TikTok the other day of a woman who was in hospital because she said she had been, quote, jackhammered, unquote, so hard that her ovary was twisted. And look, I'm sure we all can love and appreciate a big D. But twisting your ovary and being in hospital is a step too far. I don't want that coming anywhere near me. Thank you. Imagine also the embarrassment. My God. And the pain. Oh, no. I'd also just be like, it's not okay that you've done this to me. No. Oh, I have a nice story this week, actually. My friend from uni messaged me on WhatsApp, just completely out of the blue. Hey, I know it's been a while. I was thinking about you and we haven't spoken for ages. And she actually told me that she'd seen something come up with my surname in it. And she just reminded her of me. And yeah, she messaged me. So straight away I opened it and I was like, oh my God, what a lovely surprise. So nice to hear from you. And I'd realised that I hadn't opened, not even just read, I hadn't even opened the last messages from her, which was sent in May 2023. Which is shocking, is shameful. Almost 2 years ago, I've thought to myself, I'm going to get back to that message. That's why I haven't opened it. And 2 years have passed. Shocking. But what I loved about it was that we literally just picked up exactly where we left off. Like, we sent each other's voice notes. She was like, so what's happened in 2 years? So I told her my story. She's had a child. She's literally birthed a child in the 2 years. She's married, like... So very nice, exchanges. And we're going to meet up this year. And I just think those types of people are so important to keep in your life where you can pick up exactly where you left off. I think it's such a special thing. And I think it's such a show of a true connection. And I've spoken about this type of thing before, but there's nothing worse than if you meet up like with an ex or with a friend. I've had it before where I've met up with a girl I used to work with. And it was like, wow, we actually don't have anything in common. Like, it was completely different. But I think when you can speak to somebody or meet up with somebody and it's like no time has passed, I think that's really special. And obviously it's not ideal that 2 years passes, but like sometimes as you get older, you do just have different levels of friendships. Like, she lives in Norfolk, we haven't seen each other since uni. I think I've seen her once since uni. And you do just have people like that in your life, where we're not going to speak every day. But I just thought it was so nice. And also just so nice that, like, she saw something that reminded her of me and she acted on it. And she didn't think, like, oh, well, this bitch didn't message me back last time. She didn't, like, hold a grudge or anything. She was literally just like, oh, I wonder how Sadie's doing. And it was really, really nice. I loved it. Not a sign to message your ex, but maybe. If you're looking for a sign, this may be it. I can't make a decision for you. But that is the big thing as well. Like when usually, I feel like most people after you break up with an ex, usually you see them at least once again. And I have had it before where I've met up with an ex and it was still like really nice. Like, don't get me wrong. But it was like, wow, the feelings have just completely gone. We went for like a walk in the park. And we were gone like for an hour. It was nice to catch up and stuff. But I was just like, nothing. Felt nothing. Ice queen. Actually, did you hear what Chelsea Handler did to an ex? She was on Call Her Daddy. I haven't listened to the episode, but I saw the clip, right? She's really amazing, by the way. And I think she's such a good spokesperson as an older, like for the older generation, because she is successful. She is unapologetically herself. She openly says she does not want a relationship. She doesn't want marriage. She doesn't want kids. She just likes dating. I don't know how old she is. She's probably in her 50s. And it's so nice to see somebody like that just out in the world. And she doesn't even care if you judge her. She's still pulling. Didn't she pull 50 Cent? I don't know if that was just a rumour or not. But apparently her and 50 Cent were together. And I'm just like, wow, you go girl. Like, she's really funny. And I'm not even like necessarily a fan of her, really. But, you know, I don't know much of her work. But I have seen a few clips and I'm just like, yes, it's very refreshing to see somebody like that, because I'm not that person. So it's just nice to see somebody, yeah, that is like that. Anyway, she said that she had an ex, and after they broke up, she delivered him, like, I can't remember the numbers, but say it was like 50 of these special trees. And she said she had the builder drop him over into his driveway and put them up, obviously like rich, either side. And she said every spring and summer they will bloom and they grow right over. And she said they're the most stunning trees you'll ever see. And she said, I knew that people would be driving past and asking him, where did you get them from? And he would have to say, my ex got them for me. And it would always remind him of her. Is that not like the best level of pettiness that you've ever heard? And she said every summer she gets a message from him saying, actually I think she said 2 seasons, but I don't think it's spring and summer, you know. I don't know if it's this particular tree where it blooms in 2 different seasons. You'll have to watch it. But she basically says, like, every summer she gets a message from him saying, I can't believe you got me these trees. They're the most stunning things ever. And she doesn't even reply. She just gets the message. I just think, wow. Like, hats off to you. Applaud. That's like standing ovation level of pettiness. Love that. Absolutely love it. Really, truly in awe of her. Like, what could I do? What could I do to my ex-partners? Or actually, I did have an ex before when I met up with him. He was like, I cannot listen to Jenny Aiko, like Beyonce, because it always reminds me of you. And anybody Welsh, obviously. That is an added bonus. If you meet somebody that is not from where you were from, somebody else from that place will always remind you of it. I've got an ex from Belfast. Anytime I hear anything about Belfast, I hear anything about Irish people, I will always think, not like of him, but yeah, like of him and our like times, if that makes sense. So there's a tip for you ladies. If you want to get petty, date somebody that's not from the same place as you. Date somebody with a different accent to you. Really get in there. Okay, I heard the craziest story this week. Crazy and disgusting and horrifying. This girl was speaking to a guy on a dating app on Tinder. His name was Matt. He seemed absolutely lovely. They connected. Her mother hadn't long passed away from cancer, so that came up in the conversation. And he just seemed like so lovely, understanding. And she was really excited to meet him. So they agreed to have a date. She turns up. She's waiting. No sign of him. He ghosts her, right? Stands her up. She doesn't hear from him. She is obviously devastated because she was really excited. Anyway, she's in the bar. And as she goes to leave, she starts speaking to this guy. His name is John. He buys her a drink. They get chatting. She's talking to him, you know, she's been stood up. And he's just funny. He's nice. I mean, how perfect if you get stood up and then you meet somebody else. I'd be like, this is fate. This is the man of my dreams. This is who I was meant to meet up with. That happened with the girl that I know, and I actually shared on like an OG episode. So she was meant to meet up with this guy. And when she got there, he didn't show, but his friend was there. And then her and her friend ended up hitting it off. And now they married and they got 2 kids. Crazy. So anyway, she meets this guy, she's talking. And then he says to her that he had just lost his father through cancer. And she was like, oh my God, my mother has just died as well. And she couldn't believe it. So then they really got into it. She stayed. And yeah, they just hit it off. They started seeing each other. And he asked her to move in pretty quickly. And she just felt like, yeah, that was it. They moved in together. And then one night, she is watching Netflix, he's asleep, and she gets signed out to the account. So when she goes to reset it, it sent the code to her boyfriend. She goes on his phone, goes into his emails, wherever, and she sees that he's still got a Tinder account. So obviously her stomach drops, and she's like devastated. And when she opens the Tinder app, she realises he is not posing on there as John, he is posing on there as Matt, the original guy that she was talking to. So he had obviously set the whole thing up, pretended to be mad, catfished her, but then rather than turning up and being different to the pictures, obviously, orchestrated this whole story, the whole thing about his father dying, which was a lie, just to get her to meet with him, basically, and hit her off. And what's worse and scariest about it is she said that she feels really embarrassed about it, but she is still with him. Can you believe that? I think that's so sad because they've been together, so they've obviously got this connection. And I can understand that, that the connection's obviously real, but it's based on a massive lie. And also, I just feel like I just couldn't look past that. Because what he did is so manipulative and, I don't want to say clever, but like so well thought out that I would be frightened. Like, yeah, you think your connection's great, but is it? Because actually, what else is he lying about? And it's just so manipulative and scary that somebody can do that and she's still with him, which I think is really bad because he probably, when she confronted him, I mean, she didn't go into the details, but he would have been manipulating her and gaslighting her then, wouldn't he? Like, he's obviously a switched on, sick individual. Yeah, terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Okay, guys, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I have had a big highlight this week. I got Beyonce tickets. It was a struggle. It was a stress. I was really in the trenches with Ticketmaster. I literally opened my computer. I had 4 screens set up on the phone to my best friend, his sister, mother, everyone, a boyfriend, like everyone was on it to get tickets. And we managed to secure them. So I'm very excited about that. That was a big highlight of my week. Congrats if you got them. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. And yeah, I'm going to go and meet my friend now for a little matcha. We're on a little coffee date. So I'm sure that's going to set up the mood, hopefully, for next week. And who knows, will I still want to flee to Australia on Monday? We'll see. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, please, guys, if you enjoyed the episode, please remember to follow, subscribe. Leave me a little 5-star review on Spotify. It takes all of like 1 second. And please remember to share your stories to Sadie@lovewhatluck.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll speak to you next week.